How can we remake our relationship with monuments? This is the question posed to both artists and visitors of the exhibition at Grounds for Sculpture entitled Slow Motion. A collaboration with Monument Lab, the curators of the exhibition, Slow Motion celebrates artwork created with unconventional materials, embracing the narrative possibilities of material impermanence and the pleasures of slow looking. Today we're here on the sprawling Grounds for Sculpture campus to speak to some of the artists behind Slow Motion. As Chief Audience Officer for Grounds for Sculpture, your work to broaden their audience scope includes a focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion. Can you comment on how this work bleeds through into Grounds for Sculpture's exhibitions, particularly Slow Motion?
We have 5 different artists of very different lived experiences, cultural, racial, ethnic, who are sharing 5 different works that are also equally as diverse. So we have a whole breadth of different identities and experiences being shared and interpretations.
Art, like beauty, is unique to the eye of the beholder. Why is the Slow Motion exhibit special to you?
The exhibition is really thinking about the idea of impermanence and where's the balance for what is monumental and what is not. There are all these things that are familiar and it's suddenly being presented on this grand scale, especially in dealing with the idea of what is a monument and what is monumentality and how different it is for different people.
I love the invitation to contemplate, right? When you say slow motion, it immediately, for me at least, causes me to take a pause as we consider the idea of monuments. Although they are active. And I think that contemplation is important as we look ahead towards what a monument is and what they can be.
Slow motion is important to me because the research behind it started during the pandemic. The pandemic gave me the time to slow down and think about what we were doing, what we were making, what our messages were.
Can you tell me what Noodle Mountain is about?
I wanted to share a history that is long neglected. What I mean by that is Asian American history. Noodles have a long multicultural history, and particularly Chinese noodles. The pop-up is on a crank-operated table. To me, it represents the family, like family dinners, an altar, and it also alludes to this automated salmon processing machine that replaced 19th century Chinese laborers. The automated salmon processing machine was called the Iron Chink, which is a derogatory term and a racist slur, but I thought it was important to put that in the exhibit because it's based on historical facts from the past. The crank also, to me, relates to a pasta machine. My father used to make noodles with a hand-cranked pasta machine, and it makes me think of the importance of noodles to Chinese families and thinking about how noodles also alludes to the history of Chinese coming to America.
What inspired you to create this piece?
What the tree actually represents is an aspect of hoodoo culture. Bottle trees are something that's pretty common in the South that looks like ornaments, but are actually spiritual offering trees. When you think about African spirituality, food always shows up. So even in the tree here, there are gourds that are also known as like pumpkin and end up on people's dinner plates. The white t-shirts represent boys. There are barrettes. The barrettes represent girls. The clothespin identifies matriarchal labor, the tending to a garden or actively cooking or nurturing family is typically the labor burdened unto women. The blue bottles are an expression of what's called a water line, and that's a line that in the religion that is hoodoo defines a line that bad spirits cannot cross. And then in the clear bottles, the spirits that did create the system of racism and capitalism and colonialism are identified in the clear bottle through money. So there's money in each bottle. It's interspersed in ways that are intentional and also a little bit ephemeral and invites people to imagine for themselves how food can show up in their own ways of engaging with spirituality.
What is the significance of the poem attached to the piece?
Can't see ghosts in blue. They don't wade in the water. The devil can't swim. It's written in the poetic style of a haiku and in the dialect of someone from the South who is most likely Gullah Geechee.
Can you tell me about the wax monuments?
That piece is by Sandy Williams IV. They are made out of beeswax and handmade by the artist. So they're all miniatures of monuments that are across America. And then periodically we have burning sessions where the pieces are actually lit in a respectful, honoring way. And then they start to slowly disappear, like every candle does. It's like bringing the piece to life as the pieces burn and disappear. And what's interesting is all of the pieces, even this piece by Billy DeFalla, all of them have their own sense of thinking about what is a monument, how long do they last, and what material does that speak to through the artist.
For those who haven't yet experienced the splendor of Grounds for Sculpture, how might you encourage them to visit?
Grounds for Sculpture is wonderful in that it's a 42-acre campus. We are a full-fledged arboretum. We have little rooms of trees and nature that have different sculptures in it. So it's really this place of discovery with ponds and peacocks and a little bit of everything going on. And it's like they went on cue. This is how magical this place is. So it's a wonderful place to come. It's unexpected. That's the biggest thing I hear people say is how much they didn't expect it to be what it is.
The exhibition Slow Motion at Grounds for Sculpture, curated by Monument Lab, will remain on view through September 1st, 2025. I'm Gina Marie Rodriguez for Jersey Arts. Thanks for watching.